Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messinger from Picks Parlays. The NFL is finally back. We're heading out west. We've got a nice little promo code for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. The code is NFL20. Cardinals and 49ers in this one. The 49ers favored -7.5. The total is 48 and a hook. We've got Lee from ASA to talk this matchup out west. And Lee, what jumps off the page when you saw this one on the schedule for the first time?
Well, I'm going to take the underdog in the Cardinals in this one, as long as it's 7.5 or 7 or more. Obviously, 7 being a key number. But last year in their two meetings, they were both very good games. Niners won both, but they won by 3 in Arizona, won by 10 at home. But the game that they did win at home by 10, the Cardinals actually led by 3 with just a few minutes to play. So they were up in that game late, had a chance to win, didn't seal the deal, but I expect them to be much better this year. Cardinals quarterback Murray, in his second year after his rookie season, should be much better. He completed 72% of his passes in the 2 meetings last year, threw 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and rushed for 100 yards. They now add wide receiver Hopkins to the mix. That's going to make their offense that much better. They did improve their scoring by 8.5 points per game last year under new coach Cliff Kingsbury. So, an added bonus. Problem with the Cardinals is their defense. They were worst in the league last year. They gave up 400 yards per game, but they did make some improvements on that side of the football. They returned Peterson, a cornerback. They signed Jordan Phillips from Buffalo, who had 9.5 sacks last year, and then added some players in free agency, along with drafting Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson. So their defense will be improved. How much, I'm not sure, but the key aspect of this game that jumped out to me, last year the 49ers were favored by 10 points in both games, went 13-3 in the regular season, went to the Super Bowl, lost obviously. They're playing a 5-10-1 Cardinals team from last year, and now the line is 7 or 7.5. So it really doesn't make sense to me that there's been a line drop like this with more money, more action going on the 49ers. So I'll be contrarian here. I'll take the underdog, who's covered 3 of the last 4, and take Arizona plus the points.
Right. I think all of the numbers back that up, and that's why I'm going Cardinals with you on this one. Getting 7.5 points just because as a dog, they've played really well against the 49ers in general. 3-0-1 against the number against San Francisco in their last 4. And San Francisco 1-6-1 against the spread as home favorites in their last 8 versus divisional opponents. And I've said this before, divisional opponents are a little different. I think they always play a little bit closer and a little bit tougher when it's somebody in your division that you're used to seeing. There's a little bit of a rivalry going. And these two teams, despite the talent discrepancy that everyone, sees on paper, they've played actually pretty close. And also the other angle to look at is Super Bowl losers. The way they play the following year against the number 8-13 straight up and 6-15 against the spread. So a couple things to consider when betting on this game. And just in the first week in general, I think underdogs are worth a look. Lee, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that aspect also. And from a betting perspective, we'll probably tread very lightly this first week just to see the team, see how they play, how this COVID has affected their training camps and things like that. So it'll be a very light approach on our end for sure this opening weekend.
Right. A lot of good stuff to think about. And that's going to do it for Cardinals 49ers talk here on Picks and Parlays. Lee, thanks for joining us.